Hello, welcome to SwitchedOn. Paul speaking, and we're carrying on our game of Charterstone. If you watched the first video, thank you for carrying on watching this one. If you didn't watch the first video, then there's a link above to give you an overview of this game. But we're going to talk less about the mechanics in this one and just play the game through and see how we get on at the end of the game. We're trying to collect enough resources to build one of the buildings. We're going to try and go for the refinery, which basically lets us pay an influence and get back a metal and a victory point. We need a brick to be able to finish this one off. So we take a meeple. We're going to go to the, I think it's called the kiln, is it? The clay pit. We're going to take a clay brick. We've now got enough resources to be able to build a building on our next turn. And you see there, the red character, the red Sebastian, went on the clay pit as well, which forced our meeple off and back into our possession, which means we get another turn without having to retrieve all of our meeples. I will point out a few things obviously as this game goes along, because there's stuff I didn't cover in the overview video. So what we're going to do now, we're going to try and build this building. We need to go to this space up here, the Zeppelin. We pay 3 influence and the building card, and we pay the cost of the card. That's what it's going to cost us to play this action. And the benefits we get are 5 victory points. We progress the progression token, and we're allowed to construct the building. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to the Zeppelin, choose which building to build. We've only got this one available to us at the moment. We're going to build the refinery. Now, as I say, in the actual board game, what would happen is you'd peel a sticker off a sheet and stick it onto the board, so it would be a permanent addition. This building would be a permanent addition to the board for all future games. Really cool system. So we get our 5 points. We take the lead. We've got 10 to Christelle's 6 and Bruce's 8. Bruce's 5. Sebastian's 8. We finished all the tasks. We press Y and we carry on. So this building is now available to anyone to go to. They can go and pay an influence. One of their 12 starting influence points, and they would get back a metal and a victory point. And as Christelle has just done now, she's gone now, she's paid an influence, and she's got metal and a victory point. Unfortunately, all of our meeples are out doing jobs. We've had to recall them all, so we kind of missed that turn. Going to check when it comes back round to our turn. We'll just let the AI have their turns played out. And now it's back to us. We're going to go back up to the top bar again. We've had a look at a lot of these icons at the top. We haven't looked at these 3 to the right here. First one I'm going to look at is reputation. Now, when you do actions in some of the actions in the game, you get this reputation. This is going to be the person who has the most reputation at the end of the game is going to score the most points. If it's a tie, you share the points, and this sort of changes over time depending on who gets reputation points. Whoever's in the lead, whoever's got the most, will change over time. So it's really good to keep an eye on that. Next one across here is the Guidepost. Now this changes every one of these 12 legacy games. There'll be different sort of win conditions. The Guidepost in the first game here is just the person with the most victory points wins the game. But as I say, over time that will change. You also get these temporary rules. And the one on the first game here is you will carry all components from your personal supply to the next game. And the components are cards, coins, resources and other things you may use. In future games of the 12, that isn't always the case. You may only be allowed to take one of the components. But the first game it goes easy on you a little bit. And then the end of game scoring is the last icon there, sort of the crown icon. And we'll come back to that at the end of the game. So, our next meeple, what do we want to be doing next? Let's have a look at the objectives maybe. The objective mat is a good way to sort of give you some direction of what to do. You can see there we need either 6 coins, have 2 assistant cards, or pay the quota action 3 times. I think we're going to try and get these helping hands, these assistant cards, because they will help us as well. This is our hand of cards that we've got. Actually, the assistant cards go into the advancement mat here. So we got the archivist. Whenever you use the market, you can get 1 reputation. Engineer. Whenever you use the Zeppelin, use 2 victory points. And whenever you use the treasury, you gain 1 influence. Now, I really like that card. I'm someone that spends a lot of influence on doing actions, so I often end up quite short. So being able to regain influence is going to be a benefit to me. So I really want that advancement card. So we're going to take our worker and we're going to try and get an advancement card, which I think is this action here. Yeah, so we need coins first. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make some money. I think we will just take some metal and then we will sell that on our next turn to get a coin, and then we can use the coin to buy the helper as long as nobody else buys it first. Bruce there, advancing the advancement mat, the progress mat. Uh-oh. Christelle's going for a helper card, I think. I hope she didn't take the one we were after. So we're going to sell our resource here at the market. And again, you press minus, you get a explanation of what that is, the treasury there. So any resource, we get 1 coin. So we've only got a metal, which we sell, and we get a coin. We end our turn. Unfortunately, we're out of meeple, so hopefully one of the AI players will go on either the treasury or will use our building to give us our meeple back. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. No, so all we can do is retrieve our workers, unfortunately. So Bruce, it looks like, used the market there as well to take a card. Let's hope there's the card left that we want. Yes, there is there, the treasurer. So thankfully that card is still there. So we're going to take our meeple and we are going to go to... Why can't we do that one? Oh, we haven't got any resources now. Of course. Okay. See, I was considering going here to spend an influence to get a metal and a victory point, but it would mean giving Christelle her worker back, which I don't really want to be helping them. So we're going to go to this one here and just take another metal. And again, hope that nobody uses the action to take a card from the card mat. So that building of mine seems quite popular, the one where you're spending an influence to get a metal and a victory point. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't get any benefit from that. So, send my worker there so I can get a card from the advancement mat. If I remember rightly, these personas, I don't think they come into action straight away, but as I say, it will still be a benefit even if not. Probably going to be in my hand of cards here. Yeah, treasurer. Okay, so we've got no workers free, we just need to retrieve them. So you can see that on the objective map, we've got our one assistant card. We need another one, and then we can claim the objective there. We've also got these buildings and another crate to open. That's when we built the refinery, we got that crate. Or we could build this iron market where we put in 1 iron and get out 2 coins. That's going to cost 2 metal, a coal and a pumpkin to build, none of which we have. So we need to start gathering a lot more resources. So let's take our work up. And again, I don't really want to go there, but it seems to be a lot of the AI using this action. So if I put my worker on now, I get 1 metal and a victory point. And then hopefully, as it's been so popular, the AI will go on there as well and bump my worker back to me. At the same time, we need to be aiming for 2 metal, a coal and a pumpkin. So we could get the pumpkin now while there's nobody there, but it would mean hoping that somebody bumps us off of there. Oh, actually, we do need another metal anyway. Let's just bump ourselves off. Get another metal, another victory point. Our influence, as you can see on the bottom of where our player mat is there, is down to 5 out of 12. So we're going to have to be careful there. And again, they've not used that. Nobody's used that since. We'll go and get our pumpkin. And again, we'll be hoping that we get bumped. We can get bumped now from either the pumpkin space or from the metal refinery. No, so we have to retrieve our workers. So a lot of this game is about the most efficient use of your worker placement, as most of these games tend to be, the worker placement games. It's how to get the most efficiency from your turn. Now we need to get a coal. So we've got enough resources now to build a building. It's going to cost us 3 influence to build the building, and it's going to leave us really quite short on influence. But we're going to do it anyway. I mean, there's no real rush to build these buildings straight away. Say you have got sort of 12 games to build your charter up, but we're going building heavy on this one. So we can increase our reputation here. If I show you the progress advancement map up the top of the progress, you see those little ship icons. When you land on those, that's when you can give yourself those points. Reputation points. So our next turn we really need some influence back, don't we? Yeah, we're gonna have to bump Black off, bump one of Christelle's workers off to get a metal. We could probably make quite a lot of money now by sort of spamming creating metal and selling it for 2 coins and get quite a lot of money back. We need one of the other objectives, if you remember from the objective map, if we take a look at that, was to get 6 coins. Now we should be able to get that fairly easily, but everybody else is going to cotton on to that as well. So Christelle opening a crate. Let's see what she's got. She's got a lumber mill. We can pay an influence and get 2 wood. The building market, which you can pay a wood and get a coin and a reputation. That's quite a nice one. And she's got the persona carpenter. After using the building with a wood cost, gain 1 victory point. And again, we've got no workers. As the game goes on, I don't want to spoil too much because it is classed as spoilers, but you can unlock new types of workers that you can put out, and they give you different sorts of benefits. Each different sort of worker, I won't use the proper names for them, but they give you different benefits when you put them on buildings or when people bump them off buildings. So, as I say, the very first game here of the 12, it is quite a basic board and a basic game. It's kind of a learning game, and then a lot more sort of complex and interesting things open up in the later games. Now we could sell our... Let's sell our 1 metal here. We'll bump red off. We'll get 2 coins for selling our metal. We probably need a more efficient way of getting metal if we could get a couple at a time. So hopefully we can find a building that produces more than 1 metal. But there you go. Yellow goes to the... Is it called the market that we just built? Bumped us off. Some proper names for these. Yeah, the iron market. Now we had that persona that gave us treasure. Whenever you use the treasure, you want regain 1 influence. Suppose the treasury. So it's that one there. We pay any resource and get a coin. And you can see now it now shows us the bonus benefit from our assistant, where if we use the treasurer, we get an influence back. So that's quite a nice one to use as well. Doesn't get us, when we put a resource in, we only get 1 coin. Where on the iron market, when we put an iron in here, we get 2 coins. But we do get that influence back, and we have only got 1 at the moment. So I think we're going to have to keep taking metal from our mill, or workshop, whatever it's called. What is it called? A cave. A metal cave. So as you can see now, as we've got more buildings and they're give you more sort of actions and more interesting things to do, the AI are using them a lot as well, which is helping us because it's bumping our characters back. So we're going to sell our metal to the treasury here, and it gives us our influence back. So we're now back up to 2 influence. And I think that'll be a nice little system to use. Would be nice if we did have any building really that gave us more than 1 resource, because then we could really crack on with getting our influence back. So Bruce is opening a crate. Let's see what he's got. He's got a granary, so he pays an influence, gets a grain and a coin back. Grain market, pays a grain, gets a coin and a reputation, and gets the farmer. After using a building with a grain cost, gain 1 victory point. You can tell all of these are very similar, just for each resource. And again, as the game goes on, the crates get more complex and interesting. I think we're going to send our worker here to get a metal and a victory point. It's going to cost us an influence. You can see Bruce is well in the lead with 27 points. Christelle on 19, we've got 18, and Sebastian's got 9. So we're quite a way away from Bruce at the moment. We're really hoping the AI go in one of our spots to get our worker back. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, so all we can do is retrieve. 9 more progression spots left until the end of the game. I should go fairly quickly now as we head towards the end of the game. Hope you're kind of picking up what's going on in this one as you've watched more of it. As I say, it is a complex game, a lot of moving parts, really hard to explain in a quick video. Now we could take an advancement card here. Let's go up to the top bar, look at the objectives. If we had another helping hand card, we could then pin our flag to that objective and get some points. So I think we may do that. We're going to go here. We're going to spend 1 metal on 1 coin. And we're going to take the arc fist here. Whenever you use the market, you gain 1 reputation. That'll be handy. So that has now given us 2 assistants, which if we look again at the objectives board, now means that we can claim the Helping Hands objective and get some influence points. As the progress ticks down to 8. You can see the AI turns move on fairly rapidly. It's quite nice. That's interesting there. The wood mill has been built in somebody else's charter. That's interesting. Right, so I'm going to take our worker and we are going to claim an objective. Need to find which one of these allows you to claim an objective. So it's this one, the grandstand. So we lose an influence, which will put us down to 0, and we get the objective, and we also get 5 victory points, and we move the progress token. So we're going to claim the Helping Hands. Get 5 points, and we move the progress token on. So we have now got 23 points. Bruce has got 27, Christelle 26, and other Sebastian 16. Progress track has got 6 more spots on it before the end of the game. Progress move 2 then, so we're down to 4 more spots on the progress track. We've got none of our workers, we need to retrieve them all for this turn. Old smug Bruce there, down with his farm fields. He's gaining points, he looks like he's gaining points maybe through one of his assistant cards. That's how he's got so many. Progress is down to 2 now, so we're 2 spaces away from the end, and we're lagging behind in points. Let's place our worker. Let's get some metal, and then we'll sell that for 2 coins. Not sure we're going to be able to get enough to get the objective before the end of the game. With just 2 spots left on the progress track, or 1 spot now. So the game is nearly over. Look at the track at the top. You can see the red hourglass. That's the last spot, and that's just been taken there by Christelle. So everybody has 1 last turn, and I will just sell my metal for 2 coins. Last round is over, and that's the end of the first legacy. So say you play 12 of these legacy games in sort of the story mode of the game. In the actual physical board game, there's kind of story that you unlock in sort of secret panels that you peel off and stick into the manual, the instruction book that builds up the story of the charter. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's nice to have a little story. So they can see the end of the game. Bruce won, obviously, on 41 points. Christelle on 39. Sebastian on 33. and us on 26 at the end. If you press A there, you can get a breakdown of the points. So it's built up by the sort of the white icon there is the actual victory points that you gain during the game, and then the little ship icon is the points you got from the bonus progress. And you see at the very bottom there the rewards. Now this is another good thing about this game. They're almost like achievements, or you know, XP in an RPG game. It allows you to power up some stats for that are permanent, you know, for your future games. So this is the board here. We won 3 stars in the last match, or the last game, and you fill them in. On the actual board game, you have a little cardboard box to store all your components in from game to game, and on the back of them are these charts that you just sort of colour in with a pen, and when you get to the top you get the permanent bonus. So for example here, if you fill these in, coins, at the beginning of every game you receive 1 coin. Goods, at the beginning of every game receive 1 resource of your choice. Beginning of every game receive 3 victory points, and so on. These all give you different benefits in your future games, and you can decide how to allocate your points. I think it's probably good to start with some resources, so I'll put a couple of stars into that. Maybe good to start with a victory point, or start with 3 victory points as well, give you a bit of a head start. So as you go along, you build up these stars, you fill in the boxes there, and when you fill them up you get the benefits for future games. And this is explaining here, at the end of games 2 through 12, your capacity will determine the number of components in your personal supply that you may keep. Elements that are not kept are discarded to the general supply. You can check everyone's current capacity at the end of the campaign scoring window. Players start with 1 capacity in each category: coins, resources, minions, advancement cards. Be prepared to keep only 1 of each after game 2. There are various ways to increase your capacity throughout the campaign. So, as I say, at the end of game 1 here you can keep everything, but from game 2 you have to decide only 1 thing of each to keep. And there you go, that's the end of the game. So you can either go to the next game, and it's sort of everything is reset, redealt. The board stays the same as it is now, so I would stay with those 3 buildings that I built, and you play again from 0 points. So that is Charterstone, the digital edition. As I say, there's a heck of a lot going on, so apologies if it was difficult to follow. I did try my best to explain what was going on. Very difficult to do. As I say, the game does come with a good rule book. Let's have a quick look at that now. You can call this up at any time during the game. It explains everything, how to get influence, how to score, how to get buildings. So lots and lots and lots of information now. If you need an explanation of anything, it's really, really well done. And say there is online play as well as local play. And that's Charterstone. So this is out on the 6th of October. So big thanks to Acram Digital. Let me have a real early look at this one. It is out on the iPad and PC as well. I'm not sure if it's got crossplay. I have a feeling it has got crossplay, the multiplayer, with those other platforms. But I can confirm that. So I will be reviewing this one a little bit down the line. But if you've got any questions, please let me know below. And give me a thumbs up, be most appreciated. And please subscribe if you're new. Hope you enjoyed that full first game of Charterstone. I hope to bring you more content on this one very soon. But until then, I will bid you all farewell. Thanks for watching and see you again soon. Cheers everyone. Bye bye.